Hi my YouTube friends, this is Sherry from Granny's Sewing Room, and I want to start sharing a story for my kids and grandkids. So this will be part one of a story of a little girl's life. Hey, has anyone told you you're special today? If not, let me be the first, because you are in God's eyes. So sit down, have a cup of coffee, and enjoy, I hope, listening to my story of a little girl. Part one. This little girl, she had a mom and a dad that were together in their probably early 20s, probably around 1940, 42, somewhere around there. But the mom came from a single family home. Her mother raised her and her two brothers and a sister. So a family of four. She came from with a mom that was a waitress. The dad came from a home with a mother and a father and three sisters. And he was a little better off than what the lady had it. So this couple got together, got married, and then they started having a family. They weren't well-to-do, but they started having kids. They ended up having 6 kids about a year apart, 3 years apart. And the mom was a great neighborhood mom. Everybody came to her house. All the kids came to her house. Her favorite thing was to drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. But everybody gravitated to her home with her and all of her kids. And the dad worked and wasn't home most of the time, but he was home in the evening and on weekends. And he was a good dad. From this little girl in her eyes. He was the kind of dad that when he came home, the 2 youngest siblings always had to look in his pocket and find a candy bar or something. And now these siblings were all 5 girls, and the boy was the youngest of the siblings. And so he seemed like a good dad, but he drank, and he was a happy drinker, but he drank too much. And the mom had to usually go get his paycheck, so he didn't spend it all on drinking. One sibling said that the father was abusive, but I really believe it was due to the alcohol. That was more of an abuse type of thing. But he did things with the kids in the backyard. He built a shed, a screened-in shed, and they had these had crawdad boils, and had friends over, and they'd make these great big wash tubs of crawdads, and everybody eat crawdads, and he was just funny, but he was an alcoholic. Some of the earliest memories this little girl had with her mom and dad were, 1, her mother drank coffee all the time. 2, she remembers her mom always having a nice Thanksgiving and family coming over and watching the Macy's parade. 3, she remembers them riding in their station wagon, laying in the back with their dad while she drove us home. Him drunk, singing songs with his feet out the back window, and all of us kids laying on him. Those were good stories. She remembers that when her mom had that baby, little boy, that always said that little boy belonged to her. That was her baby. So she always believed that was her baby, and she was supposed to take care of that little baby. One memory she had is she didn't like to eat much, and when everybody was eating, she would be under the table and wouldn't eat, and she ended up going to the hospital from not eating. They put IVs all in her. She remembers that, and feeding her intravenously. She remembers that. She remembers coming home from the hospital and all her sisters jumping on her and being happy and that she was home. She had one particular cousin that he was kind of ornery, but they all loved him. And he come to the hospital to see her and tease her, and he was older than her. But that one cousin always was funny and always teased him. That was her mother's sister's son. Let's see, some of the other memories. She remembers her sisters in the kitchen doing dishes. And she swallowed a watermelon seed, and they told her it was going to start growing in her tummy and get real big. And she remembers crying about that. And I'm sure she went and told her mom or whatever, but she remembers being scared about a watermelon seed growing in her tummy. That was a memory. She remembers her mom doing the kids' clothes with one of them ring washers, you know, and you wring them. And her mom got her hair caught in the rollers. She remembers that. She remembers her oldest sister was in charge while they went grocery shopping or something. And she remembers her sister having all her siblings, 6 kids now, and supposed to mop the kitchen floor. She put dish soap all on the kitchen floor, put water, and we all went sliding on the kitchen floor back and forth. And so she remembers that memory. That was a good memory. She was a shy girl. She remembers her grandparent, her one grandmother, the mother's mother, always saying she was always worried about this little girl going to starting kindergarten because she was so shy and so scared and wouldn't really talk with people, and she was just a real shy little girl. Let's see some of the other memories. There was a lot of good memories, but the sad part about all this is the story is when one day the dad had the kids. They were all out in the backyard cleaning the backyard, and there wasn't grass back then because there was just so many kids, and there was broken glass all over, you know, all the time you could find glass. And the youngest daughter, the little girl, and her brother weren't allowed to go pick up the glass, go find it. But this dad, so creative, he would have his kids get a little bucket and go pick up glass, and then they would have to sit on the back stairs and look at everybody's piece of glass that they picked up from the yard, around the yard, and he'd give them a penny or a nickel, or depending on the size of the glass. And that was another memory she remembered. But yeah, so then they'd get to go up to the store and buy candy with their earnings. So that was a good memory. But one day Dad was in the backyard. The dad was in the backyard, and the mom and the little girl that was shy, that was stuck to her mother's hip when she was little, went into the bathroom. And the mother told the little girl, she says, go get Daddy. Something was wrong. So the little girl ran out and got her dad, and ambulance was called, and the ambulance took the mom away. And all the kids were there and watching their mom leave in an ambulance. And a few days later, you know, the mom passed away. The sad thing is the mom never came back, you know, and the little girl never understood why the mom never come back. And then pretty much the dad got out of the life too, because he was an alcoholic, and he took a very deep dive into the bottle. And first family came and took the kids, you know, they were all separated, and family took that one and this one, and they were just all over the place. And they did what they could, I guess, and for as long as they could, because they all had their own families and their own life going on. So on the next part of this story, I will share the different I will share the things the little girl went through with the different people in her family, the different places she was living, and the homes that she was put in. And so I'll share that in part 2 of my storytelling. See you next time. Be good to yourself. God bless.